Bore da pawb. Good morning everyone. Croeso cynnes iawn. Very warm welcome to my wild Welsh garden. Well, it's first thing in the morning, just sitting in my kitchen having a cup of tea and wondering where are the blackbirds. Here they are, Mr. and Mrs. Blackbird, come for their breakfast. Having a bit of a domestic, it looks like. And aren't these poppies just a joy? What an amazing thing to see first thing in the morning. What a lovely way to start your day. I think all of these have just opened, just this morning. I've come into the summer house just to talk to you for a minute. For the benefit of any new visitors to my garden, my name's Isabel and I live at the top of the Swansea Valley in South Wales in the UK. And I'm wilding my garden. I'm in the process of becoming a wild gardener. And I say in the process because it is a process. Yes, it's not easy for somebody like me that's been steeped in sort of conventional gardening lore all her life. But that's what I'm doing, and I'm sharing it with all the wildlife. And to all the old friends out there, and I do feel like I've made friends all over the world, really. I just wanted to say thank you for all the comments that you give me. I do love hearing from you. And particularly when you've done something that's kind of worked and you like and the wildlife likes after seeing something on this channel, because that's kind of what it's all about. I wanted to share what I was doing because it's always nice to have somebody to share what you're doing with. But I also wanted to encourage other people to do the same. Because there are an awful lot of gardens in the UK, and if everybody just did something to benefit wildlife, we could turn this nature crisis around and we could help nature to recover. Even if you've only got a window box or a tub that you can fill with native plants, that's going to benefit wildlife. And I hope if you continue to watch this video, you'll see that even letting a few weeds grow in a few cracks around your house will benefit wildlife and ultimately will contribute to nature recovery. So, end of lecture and on with the video. Well, the weather has definitely changed. It's dry and warm and sunny. And so I've been sitting in the secret garden on the butterfly chair to see if I could see any butterflies, but I haven't seen a single one. I've seen a lot of bees and a lot of little buzzy things, but no butterflies. But I came over to the pond and I found this. It's the last skin of a dragonfly nymph. So the dragonfly nymph has come out of the pond and molted, and then the dragonfly's flown away and just left its skin behind. And then I wondered if there were any more, and I saw this one. It's still clinging to a little purple loosestrife stem. I'm trying very hard not to drop my phone in the pond. I think you can see there the hole in the thorax that the adult has pushed its way out of. And then there's one clinging to the underside of a leaf over there. So that's 3 adult dragonflies, at least, that have emerged from this pond and just completely disappeared. And then I came to have a look at the new pond and I saw this. It's a damselfly. And now we're back at the old pond. A couple of you asked me about the tadpoles, and one of my viewers was telling me all about hers and how entertaining they are. Well, mine are just really boring. I just never see them. Well, last year I just assumed that they'd all died or been eaten or something, and anyway, this year I thought I'd have a fish around and see what I could find. Well, this is just 2 nets worth, so there's obviously still quite a few in there, but they haven't even got back legs yet. So I did a bit of research, and there are a few things that will interfere with metamorphosis. One is temperature. If the pond is too cold, well, I don't think that's been a problem this year. One is lack of food through overcrowding, really. Well, I don't think that's been a problem. Seeing some people's ponds literally seething with tadpoles, I haven't had that many. And what was the third thing? Oh, the third thing was water quality. And I suppose that could have been a problem because the pond did get very low, didn't it, in the drought? So maybe the water quality was poor and that's affected them. Or maybe they're just very slow at changing. Anyway, I'm going to put them back and just see what happens. When I was doing my research, I found out that it can be as low as 1% of tadpoles that are laid as spawn that actually end up as adults. And the main reason for that is predation, because, you know, everything that's carnivorous loves a tadpole, and there are a lot of those in this pond, and I fished some of them out for you. So this chap is a dragonfly nymph, and floating on the surface there is the empty skin. So that's another dragonfly that's emerged and flown off, and that's probably about to emerge, I would guess. But he is super carnivorous, and I think that one next to him is just a younger dragonfly nymph. But yes, they would eat tadpoles. And then this one is a water boatman. And, well, there's 2 of them there, yes, and they would eat tadpoles as well. So 2 scoops of the net brought out 4 poor defenceless little tadpoles and 4 potential predators. Yeah, 1-to-1 ratio. It doesn't look good for the tadpoles, does it? Well, that's the tadpole update for you, and also a dragonfly update. But I do have to say that as far as entertainment value goes, dragonflies are a dead loss. They spend most of their lives just sort of mooching about in the mud at the bottom of the pond, looking pretty horrible. You know, they're not very nice to look at, are they? And then when they become adults and they start looking lovely, they just fly off and go somewhere else. But this is actually quite a pleasant place to sit. So I think I might go and make myself a cup of tea and bring it out and just stay a while. I just came out the front to see what's what. There's a lot of hawksbeard germinated here. This little yellow flower. And then all the way along the front. And over this side as well. And then I looked a bit closer, and I'm not sure you can see it because the phone doesn't want to focus on it if I go any closer. But it's a moth caterpillar, some sort of moth. And it's eaten all the flowers, look. That's that one. And there's a teeny tiny one right in the centre of that flower. And our native moths have declined by, oh, goodness knows how much, but, you know, a phenomenal amount over the last 20, 30, 50 years. And just imagine if a few more councils sprayed a little bit less herbicide and allowed more of these plants to grow. I mean, not everywhere, but there are plenty of places that they could grow. How many more moths we would have in this country. And the cabbage white butterflies just come to nectar on them. So think how many more butterflies we'd have as well. And time for a quick jaunt before the end of the video. So I've come up to the nature reserve at Ogoffin and Thee. This is where I come and count butterflies. I don't go as far as the pavement where I took you last week. There's a sort of round that I do round the bottom of the reserve. And I have seen some butterflies, not as many as I would like, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. But I've come up particularly to see if I could see the dark green fritillary, which should be emerging about now. And I did see one, not on the reserve, on the car park. But yeah, it wouldn't sit still long enough for me to film it. But what I have seen several of are the small tortoiseshell butterflies. And fortunately, they do sit still. These have declined in numbers dramatically over the last few years, I think. And so it's really good to see them up here. And there's another small tortoiseshell in this nettle patch. I can't get any closer to it because it's on a slope. But there it is, that's the underside. And nettles are the larval food plant of the small tortoiseshell. So, I don't know, maybe she's laying eggs and we'll have more small tortoiseshell butterflies later in the year. And look what I found on a nettle. That leaf that's all sort of curled over. There's a caterpillar in there. I don't know what it is and I don't want to disturb it. But I think that's some sort of butterfly caterpillar. And there's another one there. And there's another one there. And there's a beetle there. And a beetle there. Yeah, amazing what you find in a tiny little nettle patch like this. The wild thyme is flowering, much loved by the bumblebees. That's a small tortoiseshell nectaring on the thyme. I don't know whether it's going to open its wings. No, it's keeping them very firmly closed. And down there's a meadow brown butterfly nectaring on the wild thyme. And he's not going to open his wings either. But actually they're only brown, but just as beautiful nonetheless. A glimpse of Van Brachiniog peeping over the skyline. Well, it's definitely been a small tortoiseshell butterfly day, and that makes me very happy. But I think I'm going to leave it there and just thank you for visiting me again and for coming on this short jaunt, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Wildflowers!